Leading off our discussions tonight is Delegate Stacy Plaskett, who represents the U.S. Virgin Islands in the House of Representatives. She's the ranking member of a select committee on the inner workings of the federal government. Also with us, Democratic Congressman Carson Gomez of California. He's a member of the House Oversight Committee. Stacy Plaskett, thank you very much for joining us tonight. You know, I've got this theory about why Democratic leadership wanted you to be at the top of this committee. I think it's because they know that you sometimes get to retreat home to the Virgin Islands, where you can surround yourself in sanity, at least for a weekend. You can have a weekend of tranquil sanity before you go back in to what happened inside Twitter.
Yes, I can go home to America's paradise with some of the most, not just the most beautiful place, but the most beautiful people in the American, continent and all of the Americas. Yes, that's the reason, I'm sure.
When we saw what they tried to do with this Twitter testimony today, it just couldn't have been more ludicrous. There are literally millions upon millions of electronic communications inside Twitter that were never examined by anybody in that room and never will be. And a couple of those witnesses in the room were pretending that they actually know something about how Twitter used to work because Elon Musk handed them some emails from Twitter from the period before Elon Musk bought Twitter. That's what they were accepting as useful evidence.
Sure. As you heard from the witnesses, when we asked them how many emails did they have access to, and they said about 100,000. As you said, Laurence, there are millions of emails that have gone on in Twitter, hundreds of millions. And the Twitter files contained 338 emails. And that is what the American people are supposed to take and make an assessment about what is the mind frame, what is Twitter about. It's outrageous. It's absolutely outrageous.
Carson Gomez, over in the Oversight Committee where you are, I have a feeling you're going to be, the Republicans in that committee are going to be trying to define that word that they just learned for a very long time.
They are, and the reason why is because for them it's not really about the definition. It's about creating a political tool that they can use to gain votes in the 2024 elections. That's what it's about. So whatever that they can fit into woke, you know, is it gender affirming care, is it remote work, whatever it is, they're going to try to fit it into that box, and then they use their hate and their division to target disenfranchised communities like the transgender community. That was another attack that you didn't play, but that was an attack that was in constant mode in the Oversight Committee, attacking the transgender community. You know, one of the most marginalized, one of the most discriminated groups in the country with high rates of suicide, unemployment, homelessness, and yet they want to focus on that and not how do they make life better for the American people.
Stacy Plaskett, do you know what's coming in the agenda for this committee?
Unfortunately, we don't. I have sent a number of letters to the chairman, to Jim Jordan. Staff has reached out to say, are there areas that we could investigate together? Are there areas that we can find some agreement on that maybe we do need to fit within the confines of the federal government's overreach into American lives? And we've given them a list of ones. Let's talk about Bill Barr and how he tried to weaponize the Department of Justice during the last presidential election. Let's talk about the IRS and its propensity to audit working class, African-American families. They don't want to have that discussion. And then on top of it, as you saw from the hearing, they don't want to give us information and evidence that they have. We're still waiting to see the hundreds of whistleblowers that they say they have. The 3 that we have found are not, in fact, whistleblowers and do not have any credible evidence. And so we are always in the waiting game to see what is the latest idea, what rabbit hole have they gone down into that they think that we're going to go and crawl in with them and try and come back as dirty as they are and still tell the truth to the American people. There's so much work to do, as you said, Laurence, and Jimmy and I are trying to get that done for our constituents and for everyone. And taxpayers' dollars are absolutely being wasted with this foolishness that they have us doing.
Carson Gomez, what should your committee, the House Oversight Committee, be doing? What should that committee be working on?
There's a variety of issues that we should be working on. We should be working on the train derailment, having oversight. What happened in East Palestine? How can we take steps so that that doesn't happen again? At the same time, there are bigger issues that American people are facing. You know, I'm a new dad. One of the issues that I care about is affordable child care, the expanded child tax credit, and paid family leave. They didn't want to discuss that. What they wanted to discuss is the red meat for their base. And it is a waste of taxpayer dollars, and we want to make sure that we start focusing on that. But when you have no ideas and no agenda except what's based on conspiracy theories, then of course every hearing is going to be laughable and it's going to be a waste of time.
Congressman Jimmy Gomez and Delegate Stacy Plaskett, thank you both very much for starting off our discussion tonight.